Schooler at home, you know how hard it can be to get him or her to listen to you, but there are some important conversations that need to be had to prepare your children for what's next as they grow from those tween years to their teen years.
Michelle Eichhardt is a speaker and educator. Her latest book is 14 Talks by Age 14, the essential conversations you need to have with your kids before they start high school. And Michelle joins us this morning. Good morning.
Good morning. Hi, thanks for having me.
You talk about time and place are important. What is a mistake that parents make in regards to talking with their kids when it comes to time and place?
Just one, right?
Yeah, right.
I think what's hard is that we think we have just a few seconds, and so parents will sort of jump in the deep end, and they'll grab a kid as they're walking through the room and say, hey, listen, we need to talk about this, and the kid is not ready for that. So we think kids of being impulsive, but really parents can be just as impulsive, and I want them to slow down and be really purposeful about these conversations.
You know, we keep thinking you're going into freshman year of high school. In this age of social media, the biggest thing, I mean, with my teenagers, I keep thinking it's just their self-esteem goes in the really downhill when you're a freshman, you're at that awkward phase, and then you have to have these conversations about friendships. So is that one of the most important ones to start with?
It comes early in the book for sure, and I know right now in this pandemic, one of the biggest conversations parents are trying to have with their kids is, what do I want my child's relationship to be like with technology, whether that's video games or social media or just texting with friends all the time. So yeah, I think it's a really crucial one that we should be having now.
So how do you approach criticism? Usually there's criticism of some kind. Is there some way to do it better than others?
Kids are really sensitive at this age. So I think it's important to talk about criticism in terms of feedback. It's an easier word to digest than criticism, which is critical in nature. And I think it helps always when you need to give criticism to your kids or feedback to your kids, that you're rooting it in some kind of positivity. Our brains grow and learn when we feel nurtured and when we feel like we are already successful at something. So rather than telling your kid, you still aren't cleaning the bathroom right, you might have to ease in a little bit more gently with, okay, looks like you've done a really good job here and here. Let's look at a couple places where, there's some room for improvement.
What's the one thing parents forget to have a real sit-down talk about? Because I think you kind of expect them to pick up things from conversations. What do you need to sit down and talk to them about?
I would say that none of these conversations are particularly ones where I want you to be eye to eye, face to face in the study, very formally talking. I would love for these conversations to be little mini sound bites that you have over and over, you come in and out of throughout the years, because the conversations are far more about building rapport than having the right answer. That said, I do think parents are afraid and will skip over conversations about things like sending nudes or pornography or some of the real thorny issues that we know we need to talk to kids about, but we're afraid. So the book will guide you through those.
Is it unbelievable that you have to sit down with your kid and to have a conversation about that? You do hear stories that's so prevalent now, right?
But by middle school, you need to be talking to your kids.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you talk about echo what you are hearing. Give us an example on why is that important?
This is a key step. So I talk about the BRIEF acronym. It's a universal model for each one of these conversations because I don't want parents to feel like, I have to reinvent the wheel every single time. E is echo. That's actually the fourth step in the conversation. And it's a really simple move. It's just, okay, it sounds like what you're saying here is this, or I feel like I'm hearing this, but am I right? And it's so important because kids at this age, sometimes they're not good communicators. They say something, but they don't mean it. And sometimes we're not good listeners. We have an agenda of what we think we want to hear, so we hear that, even though it may not be what the kid really meant. So that's just a spot to do a little checking.
Well, it's great information, and if you'd like to get it, you can go to michelleeichhardt.com or follow her on Instagram, Michelle Eichhardt Facebook Parenting Group. 14 Talks by Age 14. Thanks so much for being with us, Michelle.
Thanks for having me.